Big week this week. Get to come home, play Chattanooga. We got to treat this like a championship game. Got to get back on the winning track. Talk to the team Sunday. I really like the look in their eyes. I think we're all on the same page. We're sitting here at 1-4 and nobody's happy, but at the same time, I think everybody knows what they need to do for us to get back on the winning track. I think everybody's anxious to, play the second half of this season and see what happens. We all want to take that ride together. Definitely a lot of goals to still achieve. I think we can definitely build on things and get back to the style of play we want to play. But so we're excited for the opportunity to play Chattanooga, but we got to play good team football this week. With that said, questions?
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News here. A couple of weeks ago leading into the Marshall game, I asked you what it was like preparing for them where they hadn't played in 3 weeks. Chattanooga hasn't played all year. What's it like for you guys prepping for this team?
Well, there's two things. One, we can't be concerned with, hey, what are they going to do? And you just go off of what they've shown in the past. But it's more about us. It's more about us doing the right things and us executing what we need to do. And it's not about the plays. It's about the execution of the plays. It's not about the, what scheme defensively you run. It's the execution of the scheme defensively. And that's what you focus on. And so for us this week, it's about us. It's not about the opponent. But, we're not going to take this game lightly at all. We can't afford to. I think our guys are very anxious to, get out there and get a win. We understand that we're expecting Chattanooga to be just as good as us, to be honest with you. I think that's how you got to approach it. You don't know what you're going to see. So you got to treat it like it's a championship. You got to go in with that mentality. And if we do that and take care of the football, which you hear me say every week, that's the quickest way to lose a football game is take care of the football and play good team football. You'll come out with a win.
Coach, this is Nick Keyser with the College Heights Herald. So after digesting the loss, a couple of days now, what are some weak areas that you guys are going to attack this week at practice in preparation for Chat?
Well, it's not about weak areas. It goes back to execution. Basically, we spotted UAB 24 points. We throw a pass down the middle. That's an explosive play. We get hit. We fumble. So they get the ball in great field position. They're able to score a touchdown. So we gave them a touchdown there. Right before the half, the score is 17-14. You got probably a minute 58 on the clock. We call a drop back pass. Quarterback holds the ball maybe a little too long. We get a sack fumble. They score, makes it 24-14. That's disappointing. Now, are you out of the game there? No. We run in the locker room. Everybody's good. You wish you wouldn't have done that, but, nobody's sitting there going, gosh dang, feeling bad for themselves. You come out there right out of the gate with 3 minutes in the second half, you give up a block punt for a touchdown. That crushes you. Kids still battled, still fought, in the next interception there, which I thought was an easy pass interference call. They don't call it. Ball bounces up. They pick it. They get an easy field goal off of it. So that's 24 points, So I thought defensively we played pretty solid for the most part. We gave up that third and short long run where the ball popped. The good thing was we had a couple turnovers we got defensively. That was good to see. We've been focusing on that. So it's not about necessarily, hey, what are your weaknesses? What are you trying to fix? It's more about taking care of the football. If you take care of the football, you're going to be in this game in the fourth quarter trying to win the game. So that goes back to my statement all the time, team football. Team football is about playing off each other and taking care of the ball and creating turnovers. And that's what we got to do this week.
Coach Jared with the Daily News here again. Kind of going back to the schedule, I know you said you're not happy with where the team's at. You look at the teams that you lost to: a Power 5 Louisville, an undefeated Liberty, an undefeated Marshall, and a one-loss UAB who got beat by a good Miami team. How much do you think that strength of schedule can help you now in the second half of the season?
Well, I it's easy. It's easy for us to take the easy way out and say, okay, you're sitting here 1-4, but look at who you've played, and yes, is that a reality? And yes, we very easily could have played really good football and still been 1-4. And we've talked about that as a team, but I'll say it and I'll say it again. Our goal is always to win championships, and you have to not be concerned with how good is the opponent that you're going to play. Are those teams maybe more talented than us? Maybe people think that, but we beat UAB last year. We beat them here at home, same football team. But what did we do right to win that game? Well, we took care of the ball. We played good team football. We got to the fourth quarter and found a way to win. And so when maybe you're not as talented as some of the other teams you play, that gives you a chance to win the game. And so we have proven in the past that we can get it done. So this football team is never going to make excuses and say we're 1-4 because we played some really good, talented football teams. And you've heard me say, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so far the teams we played, they're pretty good, from a talent standpoint. So where do you go from here? Well, you don't focus on the past. You focus on what you need to do to win in the future. And there's a lot to attain here. I'm personally excited, and I think our team is excited and very passionate about, going out there and getting on a winning track and playing for each other, and not concerned about the outside noise for 1 second about, hey, you guys were the so-called maybe to win the East and those kind of things, I talked to our team about the full body of work. I want to take that ride with that football team, good, bad, or otherwise. I hope it turns out great. It may turn out god awful, but we're all going to ride this sucker down to the end, fighting, scratching, and clawing, and believe in each other. And I think this football team can take tremendous steps, leaps and bounds, and they know it, and we know it, to go make a run in the second half of the season. But, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to do it, and we got to go do it.
Coach, this is Nick again. So being 0-2 at home this season, how important is it to get that home swagger going, this following week? And then you have 2 road games. And you're playing a number 12 BYU, and that game time just got announced. So how important is it to kind of get that home swagger, go on this road swing and then come back home?
Well, winning's important just in general, but it's great to be back home. This is a special place. We love playing here. So yeah, this is a really important game to get that momentum back in your favor. And so whether it was home or away, we would still approach it the same way. But yes, to have a home field advantage and to be able to feel comfortable in your own house, that is an advantage, and we're looking forward to that. We're not going to look past Chattanooga, though, nor discuss it. It's all about Chattanooga.
Coach Jared with the Daily News, health-wise after Saturday, how are you guys looking?
We're a little banged up in the offensive line. I'm not going to discuss who it is or those kind of things, but hopefully we can get those guys back, and a couple other bumps and bruises. But I don't think there's going to be anything other than the offensive line that may. I think you'll see everybody out there, and you may see everybody out there in the offensive line too. It's early in the week, so we gotta see how those guys progress.
Coach, this is Nick again. So how impressed have you been with Dayton Wade, who's now leading the receiving corps with 170 yards now?
I think he's doing a nice job. He needs to continue to get even better. He needs to hold on to the football and not fumble it, when we make an explosive play. And I don't mind saying that because he thinks like I think, you know. He's not concerned with people patting him on the back and, hey, you're doing a nice job and you're a young guy. You came here to be a superstar, so go be a superstar. And that's his mentality. So I don't mind saying that. But yes, I'm glad he's with us. He's turning out to be what I hoped he would be, but I need him to even take it to a whole nother level if we want to get on this winning track. And to be quite honest with you, we're going to give him every opportunity to do that. So that's one thing I like about Dayton. He approaches things like a pro. Everything I just said, that's how he thinks too. And he wants to look back on this season saying, hey, I accomplished the goals that I set out to accomplish, and that was trying to establish myself as one of the top receivers on this football team.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. I asked about Josh Simon on Saturday after the game. He played a big part in both of those scoring drives that you had, 3 receptions in each, and they were pretty good yardage on each one. What's it going to take to keep him involved like that throughout the game and to continue that production from him?
Yeah, I was really glad. I hadn't talked about this. I felt like it was the first time this season, the first half that we played, that I felt like we were playing the style of football that I want to play offensively. And I felt like KT gave us the ability to go do that because of his throwing ability. I was very nervous about, the mistakes he would make or throwing interceptions, but I knew that couldn't hold us back. But it allowed us to get Josh in the game plan and everybody, to be honest with you, in the game plan. But Josh is one of our better players. And so, that first half of football, if you take away the fumble by Dayton and you take away the sack fumble by KT, we played pretty solid football. We were balanced. We could run the ball. We could throw it down the field. We were connecting. So that's what we got to do consistently, and we got to get the ball in our best players' hands, and definitely Josh is one of those players. But I also think about a Dalvin Smith. He's a little dinged up in this game, so we didn't get to play him as much. But, he's very, very talented ball catcher as well. And, our outside receivers have big playability. So we got to do a great job of scheming plays for the skill traits of our best players. And I felt like the first half of football, we were able to do that.
To kind of go off of that with KT, now that you've had a chance to look back at the film and maybe talk to him a little bit since the game, I know you said he's a pretty even-keeled type of guy, doesn't really let stuff bother him, but what have you noticed from him or want to see different from him this week?
I want him to take a huge step and become the quarterback that I think he can potentially become. One thing he has in his favor is and don't take this the wrong way, he's a kind of a hang loose, kind of easygoing guy. He's very serious about wanting to be better. He's hurt just as bad about losing the game. He felt like he didn't play as good as he wanted to play. But at the same time, when I watch him out there, doesn't matter if we're up by 20 or down by 20, his mentality doesn't change. And that's a good thing to see a quarterback have. I don't think the game is too big for him. I need him to take care of that dang football. I need him to do that, and not just throwing it, but when you're in the pocket and we call a pass, knowing that you have our whole lives in your hands, that's the responsibility of the quarterback. That's why, you get all the hoorahs when things are great, and you're the GOAT when things are bad, but I'm going to continue to put that ball in his hands because of the ability to create plays down the field. And that's the style of offense that we want to play. And so that's where he needs to get better at, is take a big step in his second start, make those big plays, but take care of that football.